Hello, Sunflower Hill community, friends, program participants. It's Teacher Becca, and I am coming to you live from my home. Today's activity is called a windsock, but it's kind of just a fancy way to say something that's decorative that you hang outside that the wind can blow, and it's pretty to look at. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to show you what kind of simple house supplies you will need to make your own windsock. Let's take a look. For today's activity, you will need a white piece of paper, 8.5 by 11. You can use regular printer paper or thicker cardstock. You'll also need a pencil, something to color with. I'm choosing to use markers because it's nice and bright. You'll need scissors, some string and tape, a hole punch or scissors to make a hole, and you'll also want to have a protective piece of paper, or in my case, I'm using a towel to put underneath my paper as I decorate it on the table. All right, to get us started, I thought I would show you some pictures of our inspiration, or for the two types of windsocks that we're gonna design today together, all right? If you would only like to design one at home, that's totally fine. I'm just showing you both because I know that we all like different things. And I happen to like both of these things. All right, so the first one is very special. I'm wearing my yellow shirt and my name tag, which has one on it. The first one we're gonna design together is a sunflower. Probably no surprise there, since I work for Sunflower Hill. So here is a picture of what a sunflower looks like. All right, so it's yellow, it's got brown in the middle, and the stem is green. Today, I'm not going to focus on the brown. We're just going to mostly make a yellow flower that's inspired by the sunflower. So we are going to use yellow and green in our flower. You might be thinking, you know what, Becca? I love flowers, but my favorite is not the sunflower. That's okay. You can make your flower any color you want. Maybe you like red roses. When I make mine yellow, you can color yours red instead. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to use the yellow of the sunflower in my design, all right? The second kind that we're going to make after the sunflower is a rainbow. What I like about the rainbow is that it's very colorful. As you can see here, it's got a lot of different colors, sunflowers and rainbows today. All right, so I already spread out my my protection towel onto my table. So if you have something that you want to put down on your table, go ahead and do that now. All right. Next, we're going to get our paper. I'm just going to get one right now because we're going to work on the sunflower first, okay? So your paper, as you know, can go two different directions, okay? For ours, we are going to make our white paper go up and down long ways, and then we're going to set it down so it's up and down long ways in front of us on our protection towel, okay? Behind me, I put a white piece of paper to show you what it looks like again and remind you up and down, okay? I'm gonna probably do a little bit of work on both of these because I know that some of you might be confused by me doing it right here, and it's easier this way. Now, the reason we have a pencil is for this step right now, so go ahead and get your pencil. And the reason I'm using a pencil is because I'm gonna write some words on here, and I'm gonna do it really lightly because I know that I'll erase it later. But I want you to be able to see the words that you write on here, okay? I had to do this when I was figuring out how to make it, and so I thought it might be helpful for you at home. Because what happens if you accidentally switch your paper? You'd be confused. So I'm gonna write the word top at the top of my paper, like at the very top. T-O-P, top, okay? And then at the very bottom, I'm gonna write the word, you guessed it, bottom. B-O-T-T-O-M. It really doesn't matter if you spell it correctly because we're gonna erase it at the very end anyhow. You might also just color over it, okay? So I'm gonna do that up here. I'm gonna write it in marker up here. Don't use marker on your final paper. This is just so you remember. Okay, so we had a top and a bottom. Okay, so your paper should go up and down this way. All right, don't draw the arrows either. Sorry if that was confusing. Okay, so we've got our white piece of paper in front of us. Now, like I said, we were going to start with the sunflower. So I'd like for you to find whatever color of flower you would like to make. I'm going to use yellow, but you might be choosing red or orange or pink, any other color that you'd like for your flower, okay? So I'm gonna I have a couple yellows because I noticed that my yellows were kind of running out of color, so I have to kind of use a combination. Okay, so the way that we're going to do this is on our paper up and down, we're gonna go to the middle section, okay? I'm gonna show you with this. We are not going to color the very top up here, and we are not going to color the very bottom in like a stripe. Those we're gonna leave white at the bottom and white at the top, okay? We're just covering this middle section, okay? So what I'm gonna do to help myself is I'm gonna make a yellow line across here. So I remember, I'm gonna take it up a little higher. So I remember that is, I'm not coloring above it. And then I'm gonna do that at the bottom too with my yellow. So I know that I'm only coloring in between here, okay? So why don't you guys go ahead and make your color line across, leaving some white at the top and white at the bottom, and then start coloring in the middle that color you've chosen. Mine will be yellow. I'm gonna do it on the one in front of me also so that you can see it. And it doesn't have to be a perfect line. Flowers are imperfect. Okay, so I've got my lines. Now I'm gonna color in the middle of them, between them. Okay, and this is why I have my towel, because I notice I'm already going over the edge, which totally would have been on my kitchen table. Hopefully you have had a chance to color your yellow or colorful part of the flower in the middle. As you can see, mine is not perfect. Told you I was running out of yellow ink, but it's gonna look great when we're finished. No one's even gonna notice, okay? So I still have a top that's empty and a bottom that's empty, all right? We are gonna use those areas to be like our stem, okay? So, and I know it kind of looks strange because we have a stem on either end, but that way it doesn't matter which way it goes in the wind, okay? So I'm gonna use green for my stem. And if you would like to right now, go ahead and erase your top and your bottom so that you don't get that underneath your green. You can do that. I'm gonna find my eraser. I'm just gonna go over it. And it's okay if you can still see some of the words because you're gonna color it over in just a moment. And I'm just gonna push those eraser little dusties off to the ends. Okay, all right, so go ahead and find a green. I don't know if you want light green or dark green. It's totally up to you. I'm gonna use more of a vibrant green, okay? And now I'm gonna turn my paper a little bit so I can go off the edge, okay? And I am going to fill in the white part. Now, you might be saying, I don't want my green to touch my yellow. If that's you, then you can go and make a green line at the edges here. And then you can color side to side that way or really carefully up and down this way. But you want to take your color all the way to the edge of the paper, okay? Now, I don't mind if my yellow and green overlap, so I'm going back and forth like this. Okay, how'd you do? Green ends, tops and bottoms? You don't know which is top and bottom now, and that's okay. I just wanted to make sure that your edges were different than your middle, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna flip my paper back to my up and down long way. So I have green on top, green on bottom, my color of yellow or your color in the middle. All right, and what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna flip it over so that the white is up. All right, so it's up and down lengthwise, up and down long, because we're gonna fold it, okay? So I'm gonna take my bottom corners and I'm gonna fold them up to the top corners, and I'm gonna try to get them to match as close as I can. We're not perfect. And then I'm gonna hold it and run my finger down the middle. This is kind of like how we folded our cards when we were making our fruits and vegetable greeting cards, the garden greeting cards. Okay, I'm gonna get myself a crease. So now when I pick it up, it almost looks like a book, okay? Or a card flapping, all right? So the yellow, or not the green, whatever your color is, that's where your fold is. All right, and that's important because now we're going to cut some strips, and we're going to be cutting the yellow part all the way up to about the green, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you how you can do this and be a little careful about it. But if you feel like you're pretty good at cutting, you can just go ahead and take your cutting. We are not cutting all the way next to the edge. We're going in a little bit and we're cutting straight up, and I'm stopping when I get to the green. Okay, let me show that to you. I stopped cutting when I got to the green. I'm only cutting to the yellow. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down the whole length of the yellow and do that. And I'm gonna put several in there. I don't know how many it's gonna be. But if you would like to have a guide on where to cut, I'm gonna show you how to make your guide. Okay, so get your pencil back out again. We're gonna make a guide. I know that I'm stopping at the green, so that's where I would probably put a little dot. I already cut that one, so I'm gonna move over about that much, and I'm gonna go to a dot here, okay? Oh, I gotta make my dot a little bit bigger. I'm just going to spread out some dots along the green line. I'm gonna show you. Dot there. There's all my dots. A lot of dots. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is you can either make yourself a line starting on the dot and going as straight as you can down to the end. If you feel like having a line would be helpful for cutting, you can start your pencil on your dot and you can draw a line down to the fold, and then that's where we're gonna cut. My kid's getting a snack. That's totally cool. Go ahead and draw your lines if you'd like to. Okay, I drew my lines. That one's already cut. Drew my lines. I had an extra dot because my lines are a little crooked. I didn't have room for him, so I just erased it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm going to cut from the bottom. It's very important that your scissors start at the yellow end and they go up to the green. Do not cut up on the green side or it'll fall apart. Okay, so I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna cut up, up, and stop at the green. Starting on the yellow, up, up. And I'm gonna try to stay as much as I can on my pencil line. So you're gonna have, they look like yellow pieces of hair or yellow grass, okay? Awesome. Now, if you can see your dots up here like I can see mine, and I don't really like that, I'm gonna use my green marker again, and I'm gonna color over those so I hide them. So if you'd like to hide on that side, if you'd like to hide any of your dots, go ahead and take your marker, your green marker, and just add a little more green to your stem and cover over it. There we go. See, good as new. And it looks like I can see my pencil, but when I go like this, you can't see it at all. See, told you we'd be able to hide it. Awesome. Okay, so now what I want you to do is let's take a look and see what it looks like so far. It just looks like cut up pieces of paper. So I want you to go ahead and open it. And what I think you'll notice is there are lots of cuts in the paper, but the paper's not falling apart because we did not cut the ends, okay? So, are you thinking, Becca, that does not look like a flower right now? You're right, it doesn't. Do you remember when we drew lettuce and I said it's not gonna look like lettuce till the end? This is kind of like that. Not till we're finished does it look quite right. Awesome, okay. So we've got our yellow strips that are cut with our green grass, or our stem, excuse me. So now what we're gonna do is we are gonna take it and we are gonna fold our green around, all right? And I'm gonna pinch it with my fingers, okay? We are gonna fold it around, and when I tell you how far to fold it, I'm just folding it so that one of my yellow strips overlap, okay? But it doesn't really matter. I would just say don't fold it super duper tight or it won't look quite right. So give it a little overlap. And this is when you're gonna need your tape. All right, so I'm gonna hold it with my finger and pinch it on the end. All right, now I'm gonna get my tape out and pull just a little piece of tape, not a ton. And I am going to tape the end. I'm gonna stand up to show you. I'm gonna try to line it up. I'm gonna tape it and tuck it. Okay, so I taped and tucked. So now I have kind of a circle on the end. All right, I'm gonna go to the other edge and do the same thing. And I'm going to line it up and overlap, trying to do it about the same amount that I did on this end. Okay, I'm gonna get a piece of tape. Now again, the tape doesn't need to be very big, okay? So you're kind of hiding it in there. All right, I'm gonna pinch and hold it on the end. I'm gonna lay my tape at the edge and I'm gonna tuck it under. Now, if your fingers aren't incredibly strong or using tape is kind of tricky, you should probably ask somebody to help you with this. I don't think that glue would work quite as well because glue takes drying time and I'm already ready now with tape. However, if you do decide that you want to use glue, what you'll probably need to do is put the glue and hold it closed and maybe put a clothespin or a chip clip or something on there on each end to hold it for 5 or 10 minutes and let it rest. And then you can check it for and seeing how much it's sealed later on. All right, now I noticed that some of my green is not staying together, so I'm gonna get another piece of tape. Since my first tape was pretty small, that's to be expected. I'm gonna go back and I'm only gonna tape the green part down. I'm not taping the yellow. So I'm gonna take another little piece of tape and I'm gonna lay it over the edge and pinch it on, okay? So it holds it closed. I'm gonna do that on both ends. Just on the green. Awesome. Boing, 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 boing. So now we have this. Again, doesn't quite look like a sunflower yet, and that's okay. All right, now, if you wanna leave it like this and skip ahead to the next steps when I get there for how to hang it, that's totally cool because this looks pretty amazing. In fact, this is where we will stop when we do our rainbow one, the second version. But what's kind of neat to make the sunflower is you can take your hand, oh, this is totally random, but it looks like an accordion. Dun, 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 dun. That is not how an accordion sounds. Anyway, you can take it and we are going to start smashing it down a little, okay? Now as you do that, I want you to pay attention. Use your eyes and look at what happens and how it changes. Okay, it gets shorter, the yellow section gets smaller. Okay, maybe you want to leave it standing on the table in front of you and just use your top hand to push down and see what happens. What I notice is that inside I can see the white because we only colored the one side of the paper, remember? So we go like that, all right? Now it's sort of looking a little bit like a sunflower, all right? I am going to push down and I'm gonna look at it like this from the top. Ooh, now it looks like a flower. This time I'm gonna take it with my hand underneath and I'm gonna push it down and I'm gonna turn it and show it to you. Doesn't that look so cool? And all that with just paper and markers and tape. We are such talented artists, you guys. All right, now, we are gonna use some more tape. We are going to tape, because when it's like this, it doesn't really look like the flower. We are gonna use tape to put a little piece of tape around each of the ends of these yellow folds, and that's gonna kind of hold it together, all right? So, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and then I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and do it, and I'll do the same thing. All right, so I'm gonna get a little piece of tape, doesn't need to be big. I'm just gonna take one of the folds, I'm gonna pinch it together, and I'm gonna put my tape around an edge and fold it over, okay? And now you'll notice that that piece is hooked together, okay? We're gonna go ahead and do that on each of our yellow ends. So I'm gonna pinch it, put the tape, and pinch it around. And I'm gonna twist it to the next one. Why don't you go ahead and try to do that also. Pinch it, little piece of tape. All right, So I have 1, 2, 3 done, but I need to do that with all of my pieces around. So why don't you go ahead and keep working on that. Pinch, add your tape, and then fold and pinch it. And then we'll take a look and see what yours looks like, and I'll show you what mine looks like. All right, go ahead and use your tape. All right, I am getting ready to put my last piece of tape on my yellow folded flower. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so this is what it looks like from the front view, all right? And this is how it looks from the side view. Okay, see how it's being pinched together? Looks so cool, you guys. How does yours turn out? Yeah? Oh, I bet they're so great. I can't wait to see them. Awesome. Okay, so here's where you have a couple options. You could choose to hang it from like a hook outside or on a window. I'm gonna show you later how I hang it outside. But we could choose to hang it up and down like this. Now I know from this angle, it doesn't really look like a sunflower, and that's okay, because we know that this is our inspiration from that direction, okay? So if you wanna hang it up and down because you like the way that it looks right now, you're gonna set yours on the table like this, all right? And we're gonna put our holes on the top part of the green, all right? You might say, what's my other option? Let me show you. That's option 1, up and down. If you would like for it to look like this while it's hanging out on the hook, you're going to grab a yellow petal that's pinched over. Now I notice where mine were folded over each other that it's kind of separating. I'm gonna add a second piece of tape. I had one on the other side, now I'm gonna add it to there so it holds it in. Okay. If you want it to hang up and down this way, you're gonna pinch it right here, and this on the petal is where your hole is gonna go, and then your string, and it'll hang and twist like this in the sun or in the wind, okay? All right, so if you're hanging it option 1 like this up and down, you are going to take your hole punch or your scissors, all right? If you're using a hole punch, it's a little easier. I'm gonna take my hole punch, and if you're holding it down this way, you're gonna go down a little ways, and you're gonna pinch it. All right, so there's one hole. Then you're gonna flip it to the opposite side. So I have a hole here on this side, so I'm gonna put my second hole across from it on this side. Okay. Again, if you're hanging it up and down like this, that's how your holes are gonna look on either side of the green, okay? Then you are going to take your string. I would start with a little bit longer, because you can always make your string shorter later on. All right, you're gonna take your string, and you're gonna cut a piece out, okay? And then you're gonna tie your hook or your string around that hole punch, and then you're gonna loop it through on this side, and then it's gonna hang like this, okay? I'm not gonna show you that one right now because I have another way to show you. If you decided that you wanted to hang it this direction, and you were gonna hook a hole in your petal, you're gonna turn it to the side, pick the petal you want it to hang from, and then you are going to take your hole punch and you are gonna hole punch on the petal. Now it's important that your hole goes down a little bit far. Don't put it up here next to the edge where it's going to break off. Okay, so you're gonna go down a little ways like that, okay? All right, so I have that example over here. This is one I made earlier. So I have my hole punched right there, and then I looped my string through, okay? And it will hang like this, and when it blows in the wind, it might turn to the side. I prefer it this direction since the other one's gonna go up and down. Awesome. The other thing that you could do if you wanted, I notice as it hangs like this, because you can see the white inside, if you'd like to go back later and use your green marker and color inside here on the stem part, you can do that too. It might be kind of interesting. All right, so we have the up and down hanging like this sunflower inspiration, and we have the sunflower hanging like this. Both really cool options. All right, are you ready for the second one? Do you remember what kind I said it was gonna be? We were gonna do a sunflower, and then we were going to do a what? You guys got it, good memory. A rainbow. So for the rainbow, we get to use multiple colors, all right? I'm gonna take this guy down because this had sunflower on it, but we're gonna be using our paper up and down long ways just the same way that we did with the sunflower one. We're gonna go up and down, okay? So I'm gonna put another piece of paper up on the wall so that I can show you how we're gonna do this, because we have to organize a lot of different colors, okay? If you'd like to use your pencil to do top and bottom again, you can. Or even just a T and a P, okay? I'll do T, and I think I said P. It's not bottom, it's B for bottom. All right, T and B. Awesome. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do, I think you should use your pencil. If you're laying it in front of you, go ahead and lay it down in front of you, up and down. Okay, I'm gonna put my T and my B at the bottom, okay? T, B. Because we want to keep a section at the top and the bottom that we're not going to color, we want to leave it white. We're only coloring the middle again, just like we did with the sunflower, but this time we're going to use several colors. So I'm going to use a pencil to make my, I'm going to go down like 3 fingers maybe, okay, maybe 2 fingers, that's pretty good. And then I'm going to use my pencil to draw a line across so that I know I'm going to color below it. And then at the bottom, I'm gonna go 2 fingers up and I'm gonna go across. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let me do it on my page in front of me as well. This is just kind of a guide to help you so that you have a blank white spot at the bottom and at the top. Okay, awesome. Okay. Now, when I made this rainbow, I did not pay any attention to the order of my colors, and that's fine. A lot of people don't know that the colors of the rainbow go in a certain order. I also put pink on here, and pink is not in the rainbow actually, which is kind of odd. It's one of my favorite colors. So what I'm gonna do up here is I'm gonna put with my marker, and I don't want you to write this on there, but we'll use it as a reference. We will look at it to remember what color to do next, okay? There's a mnemonic that I learned probably when I was in elementary school from one of my teachers, and it's Roy G. Biv. What does that mean? Well, it means the order the colors go in the rainbow, okay? So I'm gonna write some letters up here, and it's gonna say Roy G. Biv, and I'm gonna explain to you what they mean, all right? So Roy, R-O-Y, that's Roy. Then we've got G, and then we have Biv. Now, the I and the V are kind of tricky, and I'll explain that to you later. Okay, now, Roy is, each of these letters, Roy G. Biv, stands for a color, all right? R starts our first color. Can you think of a color that starts with the letter R? Red. Okay, so the first color is going to be red. What's a color that starts with the letter O? Orange. Nice work. Orange. What about Y? Yellow. G for green. Good. B. You got it. Blue. Now, I and V, it's supposed to be indigo and violet, but I just call them purple. They're different shades, which I don't fully understand, but for our windsock, we're gonna use purple. So I'm gonna cross those guys out and put a P for purple. Okay, our last color, the bottom color will be purple. So now it's Roy G. Biv, which doesn't sound nearly as good as Roy G. Biv. All right, so the way that's gonna work on our coloring here is, remember, we're coloring below the top line and above the bottom line. So right up here, we're gonna color with R for red. We're gonna color a red section across here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Some of you might make a big red section and smaller other sections. That's fine. Suddenly I can't find my red. Let me get it. Okay. So I'm going to take my red at the top and I'm going to do a slow line to start to kind of color over my pencil. Okay. So that's how I did it, to kind of color my pencil line over. And I know that I have a lot of colors to do, so I'm not going to make a really big red section. And it's not going to be perfect, but it is going to go over the edges. Again, we want to color the whole part of the paper. Okay. So here's my red line at the top of my section. Okay. Left that part at the top white, then I did red. Okay. So next, we've got red. Next, we're going to do O for orange. So we're going to do a stripe about the same thickness as the red. We're going to do that kind of a stripe of orange down below it. So go ahead and get your orange out. Ooh, this one looks like it might run out on me. I might need to get a couple oranges. Yep. Come on, orange. Oh, that one's so much better. Fill it in, fill it in. Okay, so there's my row, my R-O. Okay, what's next? Yellow. Okay, we're gonna do a strip of yellow across here. Oh man, if you recall, my yellows were a little bit iffy. Ooh. Maybe if I set them down for a little while, they get revived. All right, here's my yellow. It's just not gonna be quite as thick. So I'm kind of running out of my juice there. There we go, R-O-Y, red, orange, yellow. Roy. What's next? G for green. Good. So we're going to make our green strip here. I'm going to keep on with my bright green, but you can use whatever green you like. Okay. Remembering to go to the edges. Now you want to make these thick enough that they're going down to the bottom, because I'm noticing I probably should have made my red and my orange and my yellow a little bit thicker, because next I'm only going to have a blue and a purple. I might make my green a little bit thicker. There we go. So now green. After that, we've got B for blue, and then we're going to do purple. So whatever you have left between the bottom of your green and your line, you could always bring your line up a little bit and make your white at the bottom bigger. Okay, so we're going to do a blue line and a purple chunk at the bottom across. Okay, go ahead and do that. Blue. Oh, this blue is so pretty. You guys, I'm also using markers that are called Mr. Sketch. Have you ever heard of those or used them before? Oh my goodness. If not, it's probably good that you don't, because they smell so good. Mr. Sketch markers smell like food. You should never eat markers. In fact, you shouldn't sniff them too close to your nose either. But this one, it doesn't say what it smells like, but it totally smells like blueberries. All right, so there's my blue section. Guys, it's looking lovely. How's yours looking at home? Is your rainbow coming together? All right, so we finished blue. So next we've got purple. Now, I have a pretty big section down here that's left for purple. I'm just gonna color it all purple, that's okay. And purple, in case you didn't know, is one of my favorite colors. So I'm gonna color this purple. And you can make it as light or as dark as you want. Purple, purple, purple. And you can tell on mine that it's got different stroke marks on it. Totally fine, because we're not going to be looking at it directly like this. All right, there we go. We've got our Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. If you are still coloring in, go ahead and take a moment and finish that up. All right, I'll give you a second to finish coloring. All right, how's your rainbow look? Colors all filled in? Nice work. All right, now before we fold it in half, we're gonna do some extra folds on the rainbow that we didn't do on the sunflower. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is where the white and the red meet, we want to fold along that line. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it to the side, show you down a little bit. And I'm gonna fold it over this way. Okay, so I'm gonna take it, and it doesn't have to be perfect again, but I'm gonna try to get it to fold as close to where the red line is as possible. I'm gonna match it, and I'm gonna make my finger go across. Okay, notice it's not exact. All right, there we go. Okay, so there's my fold line. All right, great. I'm gonna undo it just a little bit because I'm gonna need it flat later. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing on the purple and white edge. I'm gonna try to get it to fold somewhat on that line there. Okay, so go ahead and do that for yourself as well. Maybe it looks like something like this. I'm kind of massaging the fold right there, and then I'm gonna line it up and give it a crease. There you go, kind of like that, okay? And you'll notice that mine's a little bit folded onto the purple. That's fine. Okay, so if you recall, the next step is folding it big in half, and then we're gonna do our cutting. All right, so we are gonna take it and we're gonna flip it over. It's gonna be up and down, okay? We're gonna be looking at the white side, and I am going to fold it this way to match my corners. So your white ends should be folding to your white end, okay? Something like that, all right? Now I still have my B and my T, so on this one, we're not gonna color the edges, they're gonna stay white. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my pencil eraser and erase my T and my B for my top and bottom, because I don't need those anymore. It's just kind of our guide. Push that away. Awesome, okay, great. So I'm gonna flip it so that my white is at the top. And you can either be looking at the purple, blue, green, or you can be looking at the brighter color side. Now is when we're going to cut our lines up, all right? Now, this time I'm not gonna use a pencil because I wanna show you what it looks like to do it that way. But if you remember with our sunflower, we took our pencil and along where the top and then our coloring met, we made some little dots across, okay? And then we made lines down from the dot to the folded edge. And then those were our cutting guides, okay? So this time, I'm gonna cut from the fold, not from the open white side. From the colored fold is where I start cutting, and I cut up to the edge of the color and the white. If you're looking at this, you're gonna cut up to the red and stop. If you're holding it like this and looking at the purple, you're gonna cut up from the fold to the top of the purple at the edge of the white and stop there, okay? So I'm gonna go over a little bit, and I'm gonna cut up to the top of the red. There we go. And I'm just gonna space it out. And again, I don't know how many I'm doing necessarily. I'm just moving over a little bit and cutting toward the top and stopping at the white. So do that all along your folded edge till you get toward the end and you don't have any more area left, okay? So again, we've got all the folded cut pieces. Oh, it looks really cool, okay? All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna open it up. We're gonna look at it. Really neat, you guys. Okay, so again, we're gonna need our tape, just like we did for the sunflower. We are gonna take our ends of the white, either end you can start with, you're gonna fold it around so you make that circle. And I'm gonna overlap one thing. Okay, I'm gonna line up my edge, get my piece of tape, doesn't need to be huge. I'm gonna fold it over. Okay, now again, like I did before, I want all my white to be flat, so I'm gonna put another piece of tape right there, not onto the purple, because I want the purple to be bent, but I'm gonna put it right there and pinch it down. Okay, all right, now I'm gonna go to my other edge. I'm gonna fold it around, so again, I get that circle. I'm just overlapping this one with this one, so I'm gonna fold it like that. Pinch it. I'm gonna give it a piece of tape, pinch it down, and I notice again my white's kind of open, so I'm gonna put another piece of tape right there just to line it up and hold it down. Okay, so boing, boing, boing. Remember the boing, the bounce? Okay, so accordion like this, kind of neat. This way you can see all the rainbow colors. This way you can see all the rainbow colors. Now again, you have an option. I decided for my sunflower that I was gonna hang it this way, pinching, okay? And for my rainbow, I was gonna snap it a hole, punch a hole on each side and then hang it this way, because when it hangs, it spins really cool in the wind. If the wind is blowing just right and you have it hanging up and down, this is my example from earlier today, and the wind blows, it kind of spins, that's really fast, kind of spins like that, and it's really cool. Okay, so you might want to keep it like this. If you want yours to hang up and down like this and open, so it bounces and it twists like so, you can choose to either, I put purple up, which probably should have gone with the red, but I kind of like the purple up high. You can decide which color you want to be on the top, and that's where you will do your punch on either side and hang your string. Punch on either side and then hang your string. If you'd like to get it to pinch and hang like this or this and spin around, like our sunflower, you're just gonna take yours and you are going to then, like we did with the sunflower, pinch it together and put a piece of tape around to hold it around each of them. And then it'll be close like this and it'll twist and hang this way, okay? All right, so I'm gonna do mine up and down. So I'm gonna show you how to do that one again. I'll put the red up top on this one. So I'm gonna go to the side and I'm gonna put my hole punch. I don't wanna do it right by the edge. I want it to go down enough so I have some space above the top. Then I'm gonna go across to the other side of the circle and make my second hole. Okay, so I have one hole, two hole. And I'm gonna get my string. And again, you can use whatever color you'd like. I'm using blue. Again, snip. And then I'm going to tie it in here. And I'm just tying a simple knot. It doesn't need to be fancy because that's not the focal point. Okay, so why don't you guys go ahead and decide which direction you want your rainbow windsock to hang. If you're choosing to hang up and down like this, where we keep these sides not taped, open like this, you're gonna go ahead and punch your holes on top and get your string connected, okay? If you're choosing to make it more like the sunflower, hanging from the side, you're gonna need to go around, hold it, pinch, and tape all the way around, and then punch your hole on an edge to hang your string. All right, why don't you go ahead and decide which way you'd like your rainbow to hang and get it all prepped, and then I will show you both of mine finished, and I'd love to see yours. Okay, how did they turn out? Are you happy with them? I'm really enjoying mine. And that's what this is all about, making something that makes us, oh, there goes my markers, makes us happy. And when we hang it, I'm gonna hang mine in the front yard for a little while so that my neighbors going by can enjoy them. But you might decide you have a really great spot in the back area that you wanna hang them. You could hang them on a branch from a low-hanging tree. You could hang them from, like on my house, we have these little hooks that I'll show you in a little bit around the front porch, probably from hanging Christmas lights and things. So I'm gonna hang it on there to begin with. Maybe you wanna hang it on a window and you have a hook that suction cups to the window. You could hang it from that as well. There's a lot of different places this could go. If you have a garden, if you have a garden, this would be a really cool thing to hang out there too. I bet it would attract, maybe it would attract pollinators with the color. I don't know. Could be a cool experiment. All right, so let me show you two different examples I have. For my up and down hanging, you can hang it just like this, okay, with the loop at the top. You could also decide that you want to put a knot like right here so it has a skinnier string at the top and spins that way. I don't know which way hangs better, so I kind of have two examples. I have the first example I made before I made the video here, just to test it out, and it has the single knot in the middle with my loop at the top. I might hang both of these guys and see which way hangs better. Better. All right, so that's my rainbow one, and then I have my sunflower, and I like hanging it this way, so I'm gonna give it a try this way and hang it up and down. All right, so I am gonna go show you where I'm gonna hang mine from my front, and I hope that you will find a really cool place to hang yours as well. Again, thank you so much for joining me today for our online activity, making colorful wind socks. I hope that you enjoyed yourself and that when you look at this spinning around in the breeze somewhere near your home, that it will bring you joy during this time. Thank you so much for spending the afternoon with me. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye. Where did you decide to hang your wind sock? I hope wherever it is that it brings you and the neighbors around you joy when you see it. We'd love for you to share a photo of your finished wind sock with us so we can enjoy the beauty of your creation together.